Good evening. I'm here tonight. I'm wanting to show you like these different bouquets that I had. We talked about it a couple of days ago, and they're at a stage now where I want to press a few of the plants, and this will give you an idea of what I do first. Like we have a tagline called "Picked, Pressed, Printed," and so obviously I haven't picked these plants, but I do press them, and the pressing is something that is it's obviously very repetitive, and but something I really enjoy, because what I'm doing is I'm taking the flowers that I like, and I'm thinking, okay, how is that going to look when it gets to like the press stage, and then what I can do with it after that. So I'm really thinking about the whole picture of what the plants will do, like in a finished design even, and I know flowers that I love working with. I absolutely love working with tulips. Tulips are not easy. So these tulips are gorgeous. Now, I mean, I'd love to just use that the way it is, but my processes are not about using like the colour that they actually are. I'm not like I don't press plants like, or flowers like traditionally, where you're sort of aiming to keep the colour, because I colour them myself, and it's a shame with these, because these are gorgeous. These are really gorgeous tulips. Sometimes I see like flowers and I think, oh, it's such a shame that I can't do anything with that colour wise, but this one I'm definitely going to I really love the shape of it. It's a beautiful shape. So sometimes what I'll do when it's like that, I will actually take away the stem and have it as like flat like that, and that will become a different part in the design, and then like sort of more just an open flower. And then it's literally putting them in lots of corrugated card, which is what I've got here. Like these have all had plants in them previously that I've like stacked, and I've put them in order. Like I've got like, say, a box that's all full of lilies and a box full of grasses and all of that, and they're all labelled so that I know what ones, when I'm doing a design, I can go and get the flowers that I want. So basically, out of this one as well, I got these gorgeous daisies. So they're going in like that. These are really robust, which is great. So they will press really well. Now, the first thing that I would do, I'm actually sounding very teachery here. I'm not meaning to sound teachery, but it's basically, I do get really into it, because over and over again, because I'm so like, I don't really get sick of this process, and I'm, and it just is very exciting for me. But I suppose it's not everyone's cup of tea, basically. So, so what I'm doing, the reason why I'm pressing them is because they always end up as designs. That's always they start with, say, I started off as doing more compositions and art prints that I would sell when we first set up in Greenwich Market, like 13 years ago now, more than that actually, nearly 14 years. And then I moved into working with them in a design setup, because we wanted to make them into products, like the actual art into products. So then that meant thinking in a design sense. So like this wallpaper, for instance, like the first part I did of that was like more of a fine art print, and I would use, like, it's all about the flowers, it's all about pressing them, and then like creating the motifs, like something like that daisy, for instance, would, that would be a similar type of plant here. So you need like sort of the ones that are more delicate, that have even more movement. And then you've got a lovely leaf like this. It's got like all the veins showing. And this is just a little bit from a cow parsley, which is at the side of the road. And, there's just like, I know what all these flowers are. And like some of these, it's about taking these and making them into a design to mark this time where I haven't been well. I've come through surgery. I've had friends that have given me these lovely flowers, and I want to sort of mark that time. So that's something I really warm to as well, is creating like a story in a point in time with certain flowers that are representative of that time. And so this time is when I'm convalescing, but obviously I'm doing very, this isn't very tiresome work. I can do some pressing of plants so that it goes like and gets pressed for a week, up to 2 weeks, and then I take them out and I start to colour them and then compose with them using processes that I have been developing for over 30 years. So it's quite it is a very involved process, and it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of patience. But it's something that gives me a lot of joy and peace, and something I know that, because I can see as well what the end result could end up like. So I think these are my favourite foliage so far. I'm not sure what the plant is, but I really, really love it. And because it's just sort of, I just really love the movement of it, and I could imagine that I would put like some of the blossoms that are here sort of interspersed in with it. So, I want to get that one pressed. Sometimes after a few days, after it's been pressed for a bit, I would actually take it out again, change the paper, the absorbent paper, and actually make it, like rearrange it a wee bit to make it a bit more, like to dry a bit more the way I want it to dry. So, so that's what I do sometimes as well. So, so I don't actually use any traditional flower presses, and I think the reason why is because I like to do things differently. I don't really follow the rule book. It's never really been my thing. And then I'm married to someone who does mostly follow a rule book, and he will say, well, why don't you do it like this? And then I'll go, no, I'm doing it like this. And then sometimes I have to think, actually, maybe it is better if I just do it more traditionally. But the thing with pressing the flowers is that because I'm doing quite big flowers all the time, and I want to use the stems quite a lot, like with tulips, I'll use the whole stem, and you can't really get long stems into a traditional flower press. You have to really make your own flower presses. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't use traditional flower presses, because you can't get enough flowers in them. And like I have got hundreds and hundreds of different like pressed flowers. It's a total library of an archive of loads and loads of pressed flowers. I wouldn't be able to have all that if I was just using dinky little flower presses. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't work with that. I mean, I have been known just to put the flowers under my rugs in my house and things like that, just because it's easy, and it's at least it's flat, and obviously old books are really good as well, through it with paper towels and on each side. But yeah, it's just like the best way of the quick. I'm always thinking about the quickest way of doing this, and the flower presses are. I'm always disappointed with how small they are, and so I mean, it hasn't held me back. I think if I wanted to keep the colour of the plants, I would have to do more traditional flower pressing. But as it happens, that's not what's needed for me. Sometimes if it doesn't dry that well, or it's not really pressed that brilliantly, that doesn't affect the design, that and sometimes will enhance the design and make it even nicer. So it's not really, yeah. So, but maybe these are things that that you could, ask if you've got any questions about the processes that I work with, and how it turns into design. I mean, obviously I'm going to do that and showing you about the pressing the plants, but I can talk. I'll show you like sort of the next stages as well. But if you've got any questions, then please let me know. I do have my favourite flowers that I work with that are very resilient, and that they press really well over and over, and ferns are one of them. I mean, that's a very simple one. This is a leather fern here, and trying to see what else is here. This one is a favourite leaf of mine. It's quite tropical looking. They work beautifully. These ones are a bit like the shepherd's purse, which you get in like anywhere and everywhere. They're sprouting up, like at the edges of houses and spurting up through like sort of pavements and everything. The minute it's like heart purse, shepherd's purse even. They're like little hearts, but this one is like a more like sort of commercial one that you actually would buy in a florist. And that's a beautiful one. And, I can press that and use it in designs over and over again. It won't disintegrate. So they have longevity. The plants that have longevity are the ones that I really love, because, I get used to the shape of them and I think, oh, the shape of that one is going to work really well in this design, and then I'll go and get it. The ones that are more delicate, I suppose, like the tulips, really, I can only use them once, and then they just break, and they don't look so good. So yeah, so that's just a little synopsis of that, but I will use these tulips like sort of flat as well. I'm not just going to do what I did with that one, and I liked to use the leaves as like these petals. Like once this starts to like lose, like the moisture comes out of it, I will be able to manipulate it a bit more. Like one of my designs has got a tulip in it that's like sort of almost bent like that, the way that it's pressed, and it's definitely a design that sells really well. But what I love the way the shape of the leaves go. Like once they start to become more pliable, it's not really pliable at the minute. It needs to, a lot of moisture needs to go out of it first. Like in a couple of days, I'll take it out and sort of rearrange it. So that's really all I wanted to talk about. It's something I could talk about for a long time, but I'm not going to go on and on and on. But if you do have any questions, then please ask. I'd really love to your feedback on this. I'm definitely going to start to be a lot more, sharing how I work, and I'm actually really loving being talking in this way, because it's a lot it's a lot more interesting just making the dinner for the family. Really enjoying just having time, and this time of after surgery is a time that I can be resting, but also be thinking up ideas and having that clarity of thought, in the rest. So have a wonderful evening, everyone, and I will talk to you again soon.